All right, so today I am joined by actor Daniel Bateman. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I am in New Jersey today, and it's snowing out there, so it's just a little winter wonderland for a minute out of because I'm so used to LA, so it's nice to
Mhm.
have a little snow.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm based in St. Louis and it's snowing here as well. So yeah, winter is all
I'm
around us right now.
I'm from Kansas City, so there you
There you
go.
go. Okay. Okay, if you're from Kansas City, I have to ask, what'd you think about the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
Oh my God, it was so sad. It was really hard to watch, but you know what? You can't win them all. They've had some really good games before. The city has grown so much, and I don't know. They didn't play well, but I think it's just bound to happen at some point.
Exactly, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
we are here to talk about your new film, Sex Love Venice, which is going to be releasing in theaters and available for streaming very soon. So, how excited are you about that?
I'm super excited. It's Valentine's Day, so it's the perfect time to release this movie. It's been such a journey. We shot it just, over a year ago, and it's just such a beautiful film that I'm so proud of and means a lot to everyone involved. And I think everyone that sees it is just going to really connect with what the core message of this movie is. So I'm super excited.
Awesome. Well, without giving too much away, what can we expect from this film?
I think this film at the core is really about connection. I think
Mhm.
at the end of the day, we are so caught up in our phones and virtual worlds of everything that we've kind of forgotten, in many ways, how to really form something meaningful, even if we desire it. What are the tools to sort of make that happen? And this movie, my character, Michael, he is someone who has, had some really bad breakups, some really bad experiences, and had his heart broken many times, and is having countless hookups, and wondering why he's going home and not happy. Like what's missing? Isn't this everything that he thought he wanted?
Mhm.
And so when this character finally goes out to Venice, he meets this man named Marco who teaches him how to really connect and be present again. There's some scenes in the movie where I'm trying to just rush into having sex with this person because that's the default.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's all about like, no, 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 wait a minute, like, get to know me, take all of this in, and
Mhm.
you don't have to rush out. You don't have to, grab your clothes and leave and get in a car right away. Like we can sit and talk for a while and
Yeah.
just finding that connection and that ability to kind of form meaningful relationships with people is just so huge, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And I read that the casting process for Sex Love Venice was very meticulous. So, what initially drew you to the role of Michael, and what was your audition like?
So when I first saw the casting for this, I knew right away. I was like, this is just me all over it. Like I have to do this. It was such a meaty role, A lot of LGBT movies specifically sometimes kind of target like certain topics, but this was one that I had not really seen on film.
Mhm.
Really tapping into all of that, tantric sex and
Yeah.
meaningful sex and partnership. And it just really just was this special thing that when I looked at it on the computer, I said, oh no, I have to do this. And so I sent him my audition tape, and then I met with Steve, the director, Steve Balderson,
Mhm.
and we sat down and had like a 3 hour conversation. And I just stayed in touch with him, and I was very proactive about it. I was persistent. And he just slowly he was realizing it, as well, that like, I was supposed to be Michael. And
Yeah.
he's from Kansas and I'm from Kansas, originally. And so there
All
were just so
aligned.
many, yeah, there were just so many things that were like, I have to do this. And I didn't take that lightly because I'm basically playing a version of Steve Balderson. I mean, this was written
Mhm.
as something that happened to him
Yeah.
and an experience that was meaningful for him. And so, anytime that you are going to play something, that is real and it's based on an actual person, there's definitely a sense of responsibility, and I'm very grateful that he trusted me to tell that story.
Definitely. Yeah, because these are like his own experiences which were chronicled in his memoir Year of the Whore.
Yeah.
So did he like give you any specific tips on how he wanted his character to be portrayed, or did he pretty much give you like free range to do whatever?
We had a lot of chats about, what his experience was exactly, but he really let me just make my version of what this would be. I think for me, my version of Michael was someone who was a little bit more coy, and a little bit more, I don't want to use the word broken, but just a little more kind of defeated,
Yeah.
and I think that that varied, I don't think that was quite Steve's complete experience that way, but for me, it was kind of bringing that in because that was a part for me to make it authentic
Mhm.
and just something we don't always see. We don't always see that like vulnerability, especially in LGBT movies. I feel like, they can be very just image focused, only or something. And what was nice about this was the ability that, yes, I'm having hookups. Yes, there's these, sexy scenes and all of that. But at the end of the day, like I am a human being
Yeah.
in this movie, and I'm somebody who is finding my purpose and meaning.
Definitely. And were there any personal experiences or insights of your own that helped you connect with Michael's journey?
Ooh, that is a loaded question. So for me, I could really relate to the idea of always wanting something more.
Hmm.
I was always a romantic person, growing up in Kansas City. I always saw that, with my parents and my grandparents, and I didn't quite know how that translated to being, a gay man and where I would fall into that. And I think for a long time, it just would disappoint me that I would, have these, I would meet men and we would go on dates and it just would fizzle out or there wasn't much effort or nothing, just, it just wouldn't feel right. And I could really relate to that searching for like that void, that hole
Yeah.
to be filled inside you. And I've learned that that is something that is more individual and that is more something you have to do
Mm,
on your own in order to to allow that to have another person in your life.
exactly. So, what was it like working with Alexandra Ananasso, who plays Marco, your love interest? Was there like an instant connection between you two? What was the chemistry like?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was really funny because we had never, met. He was in Barcelona
Okay.
and I was in LA, so we had only met virtually. We had read through over Zoom with a producer and director and all of that. So we hadn't met. So when I finally met him in person, it was a relief, it was really nice to just sit there and um look at each other and just kind of know that we were about to create something really special. We
Mhm.
had a lot of conversations about like, the intimacy. There's definitely a lot of that in this movie. And so it was very important to kind of form that trust and that bond. And
Yeah.
we really, we bonded over humor, we bonded over the ability to sort of laugh at taking in this crazy experience that that we were about to have that people dream of. It was my first time in Europe, period,
Really? Okay.
and that's captured, in the movie. You can see it in my eyes. And Alex was really great and nurturing at helping me understand, Italian terms and what food to order and all of those things. And if we were out in the cold and it was windy, he was always like, making sure that I was taken care of or
Such a
give me
gentleman.
his jacket for a little bit, so I felt like I was like sometimes like the high school girl that was like, oh yeah, the quarterback's taking care of me.
Love it, love it. And yeah, I mean, the film setting in Venice plays a crucial role to Michael's story. So, how did filming on location shape your performance?
It's Venice is like its own character.
Hmm.
Venice is really it's a weird place in a beautiful way. It almost doesn't feel real. When I first got there, it was nighttime and it was really foggy. And then all of a sudden, I was going through the canals and just starting to get to where my hotel was, and it looked like it was just made, like it was like it's a movie set, like it's a theme park, like it's
Yeah.
but it's actually real. And so in many ways, I was very just aware of my surroundings and making sure that I would take it all in more so when the camera was rolling so that I could, not that I wouldn't look at everything around me, but I was just very much like, okay, I'm just going to process this the most when those cameras are rolling so that I can like give the most, authentic performance that I could.
Definitely. And was there a particular scene in Sex Love Venice that was especially rewarding or challenging for you?
Yeah, so there is a scene that takes place in a famous library
Okay.
um, there, and I can never pronounce it, which is horrible. I mean, at this point, I should, but it's a famous library, and we were able to film there, and no one is ever able to film there. And
Good.
we were able to film there in the morning, but we just had this little bracket, and we got there, and we kind of changed the scene. I mean, in many ways, we were improvising certain elements and making use of the space and what we could. But it was really magical to see the connection that Alex and I had formed, and I think it's such a beautiful scene that's powerful. That's all about vulnerability. I mean, that scene is really. Um, it's a pivotal point in the movie where I'm finally standing up for myself and I'm finally saying like, hey, this is how I feel. Are we going to do anything about this? I'm feeling vulnerable. I'm feeling like you don't even like me. Are you attracted to me? You know, all those questions that we all go through when we're starting to date someone.
Hmm.
That scene really showcases that.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, and Sex Love Venice is being considered to be a different kind of LGBTQ plus love story because it doesn't focus on trauma or anything like that. It focuses on that connection, like you said. So, how does it feel to be a part of that narrative shift?
It feels like like a really important moment. You know, it feels like this is something that just is reaching a lot of people. I mean, just in the the few like pre-screenings and things that we've had. I mean, you will see people walking out in tears, but they're good tears. You know, it's not that sadness. It's that feeling of like hope again and feeling again, and um, it feels really special to be a part of something that feels so authentic and that feels like it's challenging the narrative and asking ourselves, you know, are we really happy with this? Like
Yeah.
if we are great, you know, and that's you, then that's wonderful. But like are you like, you know, do you go home after you have some experiences with guys and do you feel, you know, fulfilled? Is it really bringing you joy? And
Mm.
I think it's really nice to be able to have a conversation with other gay men,
Yeah.
especially, and just kind of have that moment with each other where we check in. You know, I think we can sometimes put out these perfect lives, especially with social media and everything, but it's okay to be like, hey, yeah, I'm struggling with body dysmorphia right now. You know, I'm struggling with feeling inadequate when I go out to the bars or, you know, whatever it is. I think it's important to be transparent with each other about our mental health and how we connect with people.
Definitely, I agree. And in addition to exploring transcending judgment and discovering love in unexpected places, what else do you hope audiences take away from this film?
I hope people take away a sense of hope and a sense of like restoring their desire. You know, I think when you think back like that first time that you know had a crush, right? And like even just a little kiss on the cheek would be something that just made you so excited, and
Yeah.
then you become, you know, so numb to certain things. And I would hope that it would have people just look at their own personal lives and see that they're making those connections that they want, and that they leave feeling um, sexy and desired for who they are, and that everyone, you know, deserves that, and that looks different for different people, and that we are all, at the end of the day, worthy of love and connection if that is what we want.
Definitely, definitely. So, have you always had a passion and desire to pursue acting?
Yes, always. I started very, very, very young in like musical theater. When I was around 5 years old, my mom put me in, you know, dance classes and singing classes. I was a very energetic kid, and I needed, you know, an outlet for it. And that really was that for me, and became also this safe space that was, you know, anyone who is from the Midwest, it's like it was important for me to be in the arts at that young age as a safe space for me to fully express who I was.
hmm Awesome. Well, what are some future goals you hope to accomplish with your career?
I hope to tell more meaningful stories. I am in this because I love to tell stories. I love to challenge people's mindsets. I love to just have people dive into the deeper part of themselves. And so my future goals are to do more of these features that have a powerful narrative. To start working with more people from around the world who have that similar mindset, and making sure that the stories that we are telling are showcasing some of these things and not just doing, the commercial aspect of things,
Yeah.
but really tapping into, the broader range of narrative. So I have a lot that I want to do. I'm never in a dull moment, that's for
Mm,
sure.
definitely, definitely. All right, so Sex Love Venice releases on February 14th, Valentine's Day, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, in
Okay.
2 days from right now.
Well, then how can one stay up to date with you the best?
My Instagram is at D Bateman Official.
Mhm.
That's DBATEMANOFFICIAL. And yeah, I'm posting everything that's happening right now with all of that. I'm going to be showing some of the screenings, the Q&As, a lot of the behind the scenes footage. They can also go to dikanga.com. That's DIKENGA.com and click on Sex Love Venice. And there's all the information about our screenings, where it's streaming, all of that excitement.
All right, perfect. Then before we wrap up, are there any other upcoming projects or anything else you'd like to mention or plug at this time?
I mean, at this time, I'm so wrapped up in Sex Love Venice that it's like this is my world at this moment until the 14th. Um, so no, not right now that I'll talk about, but I'm sure it'll be something very soon.
All right, fantastic.